Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, and welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining me today from Morristown, New Jersey, is my co-host, Joseph Federico. Joseph, good to see you today.
Charlene, thank you so much for having me once again.
Oh, it's always so much fun when you're on board. And then Richie Redding from Jersey City, New Jersey, with Funnier Than You. Welcome aboard, Richie.
Yeah, dude. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So tell us what's so funny in Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm from Toms River, so tell me what's so funny over there.
I mean, we do have a council person that refuses to quit, even though she ran somebody over. But other than that, it's just
ouch.
My yeah, my company is all professional comedians that work out of New York City and make content for companies as their like ultimate sidekick.
Richie, you had mentioned in your brief that you help, brands connect with humor. Can you expand upon that for us just a little bit more, please?
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm a professional comedian. Everybody that's on my team is also a professional comic, and we create basically a map for companies that have a content mindset that want to turn their brand voice into a humorous presence. And I build a writer's room, and then from there they pick the content that they want to make, and a lot of the times we wind up making that content for them.
I love that. You humanize brands is what it sounds like, and that's the most important thing. One thing, can you also explain, some of the pain points that you're dealing with your customers in a post-pandemic, more connected world going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing with humor in particular is that people are afraid to miss, right? So like they don't want to be offensive. So that's kind of like the initial pushback is like, oh, well, we want to be funny, but we don't want to like turn anybody off. And that's why it's really important to kind of leave humor to the pros, because we've all seen a swing and a miss and how bad that can be.
So Richie, walk us through the process, right? So you get a client, give us make up any brand you want or give us an example. And then when you get into the writer's room, how do you break this down that not only do you want to be funny, but you want to sell the product, right? You want it to be appealing. You want people to engage and interact and convert. So can you walk us through that process? And then I want you to even include, okay, and then we show it to the client and how that goes.
Right. Well, I don't have enough time to totally tell you how the sausage is made, but our whole process starts with our discovery process has a questionnaire that really gets to what they think is different about the brand, what they want to get across. And what we really end up doing is turning their two things, their key differentiators, into a selling point. But the biggest thing that we do is that we really focus on who their audience is. And I kind of build the writer's room inside out from that. And whenever possible, I build the writer's room with comics that belong to the target demographic. So like the first thing that we ever did was for a company that had a very rural presence. And so I built I built a writer's room with 3 redneck comics and me, and I got a little redneck in me. And like their best view count was 80,000 views, and ours had over 3.5 million in like the first month.
And so let me ask you this, though. When you show it to the client, have you ever had the client go, oh, I don't know, or, oh my God, this is like, what's the usual reaction that you get? Or is there no usual reaction? By the way, we love mullets in Jacksonville, Florida. We're all about country here. So we love the mullet.
Yeah, you are. Duval. Yeah. So what the process involves creating an absolutely holy, amount of ideas. It's like we'll come to them with 50 great ideas, and they pick the ones that they want, and then we hone those into a perfect script. And we basically measure a bunch of times before cutting, so that we're confident that we have the right thing before we actually shoot it.
Richie, can you give us one tip to marketers today going forward that can help us all out, in a post-pandemic connected world of humor and just being human?
Absolutely. Two things. Talk like people talk, right? That all the time you see brands talking like brands and it's awful. But when they come across with personality, it's because they're talking like a person. Wendy's is the ultimate example of that. And the other thing is do the internet on the internet, right? Like don't make a TV commercial for the internet and don't even put something that's meant for YouTube on TikTok. Like it lives natively for a reason and it's got to make sense. So those are my two tips.
And real quick, Richie, I know I keep going back to like, have you ever had something put out there and you're like, it did not land like you thought? Because that's great when you're like, oh, we got 30 million hits and all this stuff. Okay, that's the point, right? But do you ever have something and you're like, yeah, that didn't land like we thought it was going to land? And then what do you do?
I mean, we've never had anything that went wild, like, with blowback. We've kind of, as comics, in a typical writer's room, we've got about 60 years of stand up between us. So we've gotten most of our bombs out of the way about 10 years ago. So,
but if somebody wanted to be a disruptor, have you had those clients who are like, we don't care if we offend people, we're okay with that, that's what we want to do, we want to shake it up a little bit? And are those more fun or less fun for you?
Let me be very clear what I say. If you are that person, holler at your boy. We haven't had that client yet. It's always been a lot of sensitivity, but man, I would love somebody that really wanted to stir up some trouble.
All right. Richie, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you and sharing some of your techniques on how to be funny and how to sell.
Most importantly. All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And Joseph, always good to see you, my friend. Thank you. And if you'd like to learn more about what they're doing at Funnier Than You might as well, right? What else you got to do? Go on their site and laugh. So you can check them out by starting at dailyadbrief.com. I'm Charlene Shirk. Thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to learning something new and laughing with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.